Hey guys, it's Nikki. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a product OG throwback. I am starting a new series on my channel where I'm basically going to be going through like old OG makeup products that were so popular back then in the makeup community that really nobody talks about anymore, and getting ready with them and just kind of sharing with you guys if I still like them, as well as memories and everything like that. Obviously, we have a ton of makeup brands that are out now. We have a ton of makeup products. I feel like there are so many brands that are out there. There are so many people that are making makeup brands. So in today's video, I wanted to kind of go down memory lane and show you guys, obviously, the product that I'm using today that is an OG classic product. This product is the Urban Decay Naked Palette. You cannot even get this anymore. They discontinued this palette actually recently, so not too long ago, but for anyone who doesn't remember, this is what the palette looks like. This was the first ever like high-end eyeshadow palette I've ever bought. I got it for Christmas one year and I was so excited because the only other high-end palette I had was the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette that I had bought with my own money because I saved up money from doing chores and also too from like birthdays and stuff. So I bought that with my own money, and that was like the first ever high-end palette. So when I got this for Christmas one year, I like freaked out and I was so excited. So yes, the Urban Decay Naked palette was like one of the first big palettes everybody had. It's got like a velvet felt feel to it. It's got the naked all in gold and it says Urban Decay. And then obviously you have all of these shades in here. So we're going to be creating a look with this today, and I am going to be basically doing an eye look with this, and then I will do the rest of my face and then come back off camera to kind of show you guys what the whole look looks like and kind of give you guys my thoughts are on the palette now that it's literally been so long and so many other makeup has come out. I want to give you guys my thoughts on this and kind of give you guys if I still like it, if I think it's worth keeping, or if I'm going to declutter. So let's go ahead and get into this video where I get ready using this palette. Okay, so now that I have my eyes primed and ready to go, I have my tape on, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the shadows. So the first thing about this palette is there's no matte cream shade in here. Obviously these are what the colors look like. Back in the day when makeup was a thing, you didn't set your primer with a matte cream shade, but that's something that I always do now. So I'm just gonna dabble into just my Morphe Jeffree Star palette, and I'm just gonna set my concealer with this matte cream shade, just so that way it doesn't crease. I like to use concealer as primer because it cancels out everything, but also too it does a good job of keeping your shadows on. So I'm just gonna set that with a cream shade. So now we're gonna get into this palette. I'm gonna go in with the shade Naked right here, and this is just going to be our transition shade. I'm taking this on a very big fluffy brush, kind of like this one, and just going to fluff this in my crease and above my crease in my transition area. So that shade is still pretty pigmented from what I can see. It went on really nicely and it doesn't look super patchy. It still has a lot of pigment to it, so I enjoy it. We're gonna move on to the crease. I'm gonna take the shade Buck right here, which is like one of the classic ever crease colors I think that has ever come out in this palette. It was used for so many looks back in the day. So many people used it because it was just such a good crease shade. So we're just gonna see how it is now. Remember, I was like a freshman in high school when I got this palette, and it was like you were so cool back then if you got the Naked palette for Christmas, or you even owned anything from Sephora. You were so cool because when I was in like middle school and everything, that's when I discovered what Sephora was. I didn't know like what Sephora was or anything. Like I got all my makeup at Walmart when I was in middle school, and I bought like Neutrogena and CoverGirl and like Almay and stuff like that. And I discovered YouTube, and when makeup videos on YouTube became really popular, I obviously discovered like Sephora and Ulta, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's this whole new world of makeup. And I didn't think that makeup was a super big thing back then like it is now. So it just was so cool to see just an all new world. And now look what it's evolved into. Like, everybody wants to get involved in makeup now because it's just such a hot commodity compared to how it was back in the day. I definitely think makeup has come a long way compared to what it was, and it's just kind of crazy when you go down memory lane, like how much it's changed. But this shade went on pretty nicely. It's not too much different than Naked, but it does add a little bit more dimension to the crease and darken it up a bit, which I like. So now I'm going to take the shade Dark Horse right here, and I'm going to go in my outer corner as well in the lower like half of my crease. Remember when I first started wearing makeup, I was in middle school, and back then, like, obviously makeup was not like as big as it was now. Techniques were completely different. We didn't have all the products that we do now. So when I was in middle school, it was just like a little crazy that like all this was happening. You know, when you would wear, like, nobody was good at makeup back in the day in middle school like how they are now. You know, we have like 13-year-olds that can do their makeup so well because of the resources that we have. You know, when I was in middle school, we didn't have that. Everyone just wore makeup and talked about makeup, but that was it, you know. And then as I got into high school and as makeup started becoming, you know, a really big thing, everyone just started changing their techniques, and they wanted, you know, the big and best thing and everything. So it's just crazy to see how makeup is now compared to how makeup used to be, and like the products we used to get excited for versus like the products and packaging that we get excited for now. So this shade, I remembered it being like a lot more pigmented, but also too, when I used to use this shade back in the day, I didn't have brushes like this. I had like a cheap Walmart set of brushes when I first started that like got me through and everything. So my brushes weren't the best. So that could have been why. I'm gonna take Buck and I'm going to just blend out that Dark Horse shade. Now I'm going to go in with this shade Creep right here, which is that dark black, and I'm gonna go in my outer V of my eye just to kind of darken up this outer part. I like to do that just to give it a little bit more dimension, and it just makes it a little bit more smoky. I'm just gonna take my concealer, any concealer. This is just the ColourPop No Filter concealer, and I'm just going to like blend, or not blend, but just apply this to my lid just as a base for the lid colors. So now I'm gonna take this shade Smog right here, and I'm just going to put this on my lid. I want this look to be kind of more smoky today, but I'm going to put this all over my lid, mainly where we put that concealer to make it pop. So now that I have that on the lid, I'm going to take the shade Sin right here, which is that really pretty pink champagne. Sorry, it's not really popping up on my camera because of how light it is, but I'm going to take this and apply this in like the inner tear duct. Just to brighten up like that inner part of the eye, so it kind of goes from like light to like bronzy to dark. Alright, so I'm just going to pop on some eyeliner, finish the rest of my face, and then I will give you guys like the final look and tell you guys like my final thoughts on the palette and what I think of it now compared to what I thought of it like years ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and I'll be back. Alright you guys, so I just finished up with my makeup here. I kind of fixed my hair and then I got dressed. So I finished up my makeup obviously using the Naked 2, no, this is not the Naked 2. This is the Naked palette by Urban Decay. I don't know what I'm like trying to say right now. But obviously this was the main focus of today's video, as well as this makeup look here. The one thing I can say about it is obviously the pigmentation and the shimmers, even when spraying the brush, and also too with the blending, is a little bit harder than like some other palettes that I have and some other brands that I have. But overall, I do think that it's a good palette, and I do think it's worth me keeping because of the sentimental value of it. This is the original Naked palette, and like you guys will like never see this again. Because obviously they made the Naked Reloaded palette, which is like basically the newer and improved version of this one. And everyone's been going for that and they love it and they say that the quality is so much better. So this one is like OG, like you're never ever going to find this palette again. I would still say my favorite shade out of this whole palette is this highlight color Virgin. Oh my god, this color is so nice on the brow bone. It's super nice in the inner corner. It's light and it's like a satin shade, so it's not super shimmery, but it's just enough to where it gives you that nice light lifted brow because of how it's a nice shade and I love it. It's probably my favorite shade out of the whole palette, and I've always loved highlighting my brow bone and my inner corner with it because it's so freaking good. So I'm just so happy that I still like the shades. I still like the palette, and I think that it is a great palette. It is a good, it is a good neutrals palette. It's a good beginner's palette, and it kind of makes me sad that you can't ever get this anymore because it's completely discontinued, and obviously they don't have this anymore. But yeah, so obviously I still like the palette. I'm gonna keep it, and it's also probably going to be displayed once I get done getting all my makeup storage put together. It's probably going to be displayed in my room, so that way you guys can like see it and I can see it, because it's memories. Like, this is my first high-end palette, and I knew I was probably going to keep it just because it was like so special and so sentimental, but I still like it. I still like the shades. I'll still probably use it here and there. And then also too, I want to point out for lashes, I used my D-Star lashes in Barbagine, and these are so pretty. They're so pretty. You can actually use the code Nikki to get 15% off your D-Star lashes order. I love these. Out of the styles I have, I think this one's my favorite. It's so dramatic, but like they just look so good, and they fan out at the end, and they just look so pretty, I think, with any eye look. And so these are my favorite. They're super dramatic, but I love them. You can use Nikki to get a discount and save some money on D-Star lashes, and they're actually pretty affordable anyway, so if you can get them even cheaper, that's great. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm gonna start doing this as a series where I'm gonna start doing it like, I think once a month. I'm going to do a throwback product. I think I'm gonna call it like the OG makeup throwback, or OG makeup get ready with me, OG makeup throwback, or something like that. I'll figure it out. But yes, I enjoy this palette. If you guys have it, I would recommend keeping it, just because you will never ever get this anymore, and don't spend a fortune on like sites that are selling it to get this, because it's not worth paying triple the price. This is like $50, I think. It's not worth paying like $200 for a discontinued palette. Unless you want to do that, but I just don't think it's worth it. But I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to turn on post notifications so you're notified when I upload, and subscribe. That way you don't miss an upload. I upload 2 times a week, so you guys don't want to miss that at all. And I will see you guys in my next video. And also too, don't forget to follow my socials. That way you guys can see makeup looks before they come on YouTube. You can see pictures of makeup looks. You can also see makeup that I get in, or makeup that I'm going to be trying out. Also too, I have my personal Instagram you guys can follow. That's more of my life and my lifestyle. So definitely follow my socials down below. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.